noisier in the FPV feed immediately.
Hey guys, NJ here, and today I wanted to show you quickly a little custom 3-inch micro build that I have been playing around with. Now there's a purpose to this little guy, and that is the subject of HD recording down at this kind of level. Now I was given a split mini to look at a little while ago, and one thing led to another. I never really got round to doing a review in any depth on that, but with things like the Turtles Caddx now out, and I have one of those to arrive with me hopefully any day now, I thought it was about time I put together a little micro build that could carry both of those things and to see what kind of results we could get. So this frame is one I've had kicking around for a little while. It's the Sparrow by GEPRC, little 3-inch frame. It's probably a little heavier than some of the 3-inch micro-ish frames out there, and the reason I like it, to be honest with you, is the fact that it's just such a tank. I mean, this 7075 aluminium body here on the top it's just super strong. You've got 3mm carbon, and as with most of the Get products I've had, the carbon is super stiff, really good quality stuff. So yeah, nice little tank frame. Thought it'd be a great one to build into, and I quite like the look of it and the way things are laid out. I especially like the fact that having the camera up here a little higher and further forward keeps the props out of view, which is obviously a nice thing and suitable if we're going to have that as our main HD recording camera. So all in all, I felt like this was a good frame to go with. In terms of the rest of the electronics I've decided to use, I've actually got here, these are the Cobra Championship. You'll know I've run that on some of my older frames, and I love the Cobra Champ motors, they're great, but these are not 22s obviously. These are 1407 4100 kV, and I'm running those with these Dal Prop 3-inch. These are 30, they are T30 by 56C, and even though that sounds like quite a lot of pitch, they do actually, much like the Emax Avans, they're kind of heavy in the root but taper out very flat towards the end. So I'm sure these will be actually quite a nice balanced prop to use. For the rest of the build, we've got a 4-in-1. I can't even remember what make this is. I think this was another part I stole from yet another broken or non-functional SPC maker. But this is a 4-in-1 20 amp, 25 amp burst per channel D-Shot 600. Fairly generic thing. The flight controller is an Omnibus F4 Nano in there, which has OSD and all the usual good stuff, and then I've got a pretty simple lightweight 25 to 100 milliwatt VTX in the top, and then an XM Plus, because you know I will not use D8 receivers, I don't like them, so it's got the Diversity XM Plus in there. And it really is as simple as that. Because this is going to be quite a high power setup, I've also chosen to throw in some nice 16 AWG wire in there, just to make sure we're not bottlenecking too much on that XT30. And yeah, that's the rig. The only other thing I've done, as I do with all of my builds, I've worked wiring in a capacitor to this. This is a 35 volts 370 or 470 microfarads, I think. Can't quite see on the end there, but yeah, plenty just to take the edge off any noise that you're likely to get feeding back to the camera system. So in terms of dry weight, we're looking at 160 grams, which I think is very, very respectable for a micro with HD recording capabilities. And the all-up weight with one of these nice strong 650 milliamp 4S AC pack, which I just love this pack. It's been fantastic for the smaller quads. I have a total all-up weight of 248 grams, which I'm super happy about, because that creeps in under that 250 gram limit. The odd bit you can see on the top here, well, this is the Runcam split mini, and unfortunately it was going to be far too tight for me to get that into this frame. And because I want to be able to easily swap the Caddx board and camera onto here when that shows up, what I actually did was to just heat shrink this and then strap it. This is for the camera mount that you could run if you wanted to run an HD camera on top, but I've used that just to run Velcro around the top. So I've got this just sitting on top here, which works absolutely fine, and then I'll be able to do something similar, or maybe if the Caddx is a bit slimmer, I'll be able to actually get it into the stack itself there. And the way I've wired this is I've just wired this onto a plug, so I can easily unplug it, plug into a normal HD cam, or in this case I'll be able to plug into the Caddx board. So yeah, it's a nice kind of semi-modular way of me being able to swap out between this and the Caddx and a normal camera, just to see what we get. So yeah, that's the build. I'm sure you're interested to see what it all flies like. I will say this up front, the power is monstrous on this thing. It really shifts. So I'm very, very happy with that, and the flight performance on the newly released base flight 3.5. Have a look at the footage, see what you think for yourself. I was actually really pleased with not only the picture that the Runcam gives, it's a really nice FPV camera picture, but also I found the latency totally workable. I didn't feel like there was latency there that was affecting my freestyle performance. It all felt really good. Kind of wish I'd got onto testing this a little bit earlier, because this all feels pretty good to me. Anyway, have a look at the flight footage, see what you think, and in the next video, when we continue this series, we'll be doing the same again, same setup exactly as this, but with the Caddx, so we have a real nice comparison between the two. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.